Morning everyone. This is day 4 now, I believe, of working on the Wrangler project. I have been doing some stuff in the spare time. I'm not always able to get the camera in here, but I have the water pump off, the thermostat housings off, upper lower radiator hoses are off, and the coolant's totally drained out of the block. I'm currently still waiting on some parts to get in so that I can put everything back together. So I figure with it being so nice out, and since I'm still waiting on a water pump and a timing chain cover gasket kit and some essentials here and there, I figure why not tinker with the motor a little bit more. Gonna go ahead and degrease it down, give it a nice fresh coat of paint, let it dry. It'll get dry by tomorrow when I get the rest of the parts in. So why don't we go ahead and hop into today and see what we can get done. So the plan is to actually go ahead and paint the motor. So I'm just going to end up taking this heavy duty Scotch tape and plugging over the thermostat housing just to make sure nothing else gets in there. I already went ahead and drained the block, so there shouldn't be anything else left. But again, just to make sure nothing gets in there, I'm going to go ahead and tape that off. Here is the thermostat housing off the front of this motor, and as you can see, it's got some gnarly pitting going on right where the hose actually attaches to it. So the plan is to take the wire wheel or wire brush and just clean up around it and make sure that these pits didn't go all the way through, because the last thing we need is any coolant leaking out of this new system that I'm putting on. Parts for the motor and the drive line. Can't really do much more to that and everything. Hey, now, what's up? I can cut this out. Morning, or I guess afternoon at this point. It's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Even look at the date. Today is October 11th. Yeah, so maybe I need to explain. So it's been a hot minute since I actually got a chance to hop in front of the camera, and eventually he'll get over the top of me. You can see I'm nowhere near any closer, it looks like, than from where we are, but we have made progress. Progress has been made, just small progress. So the wedding or elopement ceremony is on the 24th, which gives me 13 days to get this thing back together. I guess I should start by saying what progress we've gotten done so far. I've got all the emissions systems taken off of this thing. A lot of the hoses were just bolted and plugged up, so we didn't need them anyway, so I just put little rubber nipples on the end of the throttle body emission systems, completely eliminated that. Secondly, went ahead and did an oil change on this. Now I really didn't need the oil change right now, but I figured while I'm here, do whatever I can. Keeping that in mind, I planned on doing the thermostat, the water pump, and a timing chain, since I'm in here. I've never done it on this motor. When I originally bought this thing back in 2012, never did it. And I mean, 6 years later, you know, I think this is now probably the time it needs to get done. Which leaves me with the problem of I did the oil change, and now I have to figure out a way to jack up the front of the vehicle when I do it so I can take the bottom of the oil pan off to do the timing chain cover gasket. We have brand new upper and lower radiator hoses, brand new alternator and power steering pump brackets. The leak that was on the power steering pump has been fixed, and all in all, just a little minor stuff here and there that's been tweaking, and you know, just more or less has been waiting for parts to come in. A lot of it has been waiting for parts. I do have a stockpile of parts on the Jeep right now that's waiting to get put onto the motor, and I also have some parts that I've ordered that are on their way that should be here before the, you know, for the elopement ceremony. We've also made some progress on the body, and next we'll go ahead and talk about that. Alright, so as you can see, I do have brand new sheet metal on here. Now, this is roughly where the original sheet metal was, or where the original rocker did sit. I have it just tack welded in right now. I got the lower support tack welded in. I'm going to have to cinch those together and weld that, make sure that those stick together. I do have this 4x4. It's kind of just allowing me to, you know, angle it, keep it in place. But for now, I'm going to tweak a few more things on that motor, and then I got to get on this because I have one side sort of figured out right now. I'm going to have to measure the body mount locations side to side on the body to make sure, because since I'm cutting out all this main structure under here, I can't lose where those locations are, because next thing you know, the body won't fit on it. I mean, I can always stretch it, but if it ends up being too close to the frame, or, you know, yeah, if it's too close to the frame, there's nothing I can do about that. But if it's too far out, I can always just subtract it and bring it in. It's a lot harder to bring it back out. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to measure from this location to the other side of the body. I'm going to do the same on the frame, figure out center on center, and see how close or how far off I really am, so when my new body mounts come in, I can make sure that they are going to work and they are going to set properly on the vehicle. Now, I may or may not have gotten overzealous, and as you can kind of see from the front of the motor right there, there's some tape there. Well, the plan is to paint the block and, you know, give it a nice new shade of paint, because it's been a hot minute since this block, you know, was a proper color, or at least painted. And I hope you guys won't hate me for the color. Yeah, it's copper now, and I'm not gonna lie, I kind of like it. It's not terrible. I mean, it goes against the black and the red and, you know, the rest of the stuff that I have on it. It's, I don't know. I mean, who knows? I may not have this engine in here forever. So, you know, why not make it a little flashy? Or, you know, I mean, it is autumn in New England, and why not? If everything else could be pumpkin spice, why can't my motor be? God, I'm gonna get so much hate for this. Now, to get my welder. There you are. This is gonna make all welding work possible. Come on. I got the new cross member put on. Again, not my best work, but it'll do for what I needed to do. But I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to measure from that body mount over there to this now body mount over here. I have to try to find center as close as I can. I mean, obviously, we got some motion going on there. Go center to center and see where we're at, and then we'll go ahead and do the body, or at least the frame. That's what I meant to say. All right. So, after measuring the frame, I roughly got 42 from center to center. Obviously, I got body mounts further up
forward. So that looks like that's where we need to be. It's about 42 center on center. Now I have some play with that mount over there, so I'm going to stick that in there. Go over here. Looking at 42 dead on. So it kind of looks like I have that thing moved over a little bit. No, so that's 42 dead on. So if I zing this, when I zing this off, what I need to do is I need to cut this off properly, and then when I cut the other one, I need to go ahead and finesse it back and forth, figure out where 42 is going to be, and that's when I'm going to tack it in. Otherwise, it's going to be all over the place, and I kind of need to have that bolt pretty close. I mean, it does help having a play. It looks like I have like maybe a ½ inch on both sides, so I'll have an inch give or take either way. But the closer I am, the better, obviously. So let's go ahead and actually let's finish welding this one up first, and then we'll tackle this one. That way I know that one's done, I don't got to worry about it, and I can focus all my efforts onto this one after. Alright, so that looks a little bit better. That'll do. So next I'll go ahead and I'll start welding this. I'll actually finish welding this seam in here, and then I'll go ahead and continue on.